friends, welcome back to Food Prep Guide. If you could only store 5 canned foods in your food storage pantry, whether you're working with limited space, a tight budget, or just want to kind of cut through the overwhelm of food storage, what would those 5 items be? I have been thinking about this a lot lately. I could give you generic advice like stock up on canned meats and canned vegetables and canned fruits and canned beans, but that's kind of vague, unhelpful, and honestly just common sense. So today I want to get pretty specific. I'm going to tell you exactly which 5 canned foods to prioritize and how to use each one to get maximum value and versatility in your cooking. Plus, at the end, I'll share 3 popular canned goods that may be wasting your storage space and what to do instead. So let's jump right into it with number 1, which is canned tomatoes. Now, this might seem like an obvious choice, but it's easy to underestimate just how powerful this one ingredient can be in your food storage pantry. When I say canned tomatoes are the foundation of a pantry, I really believe that they can transform almost any basic ingredient combination into something that doesn't taste like a struggle meal. Though tomatoes do provide vitamin C and lycopene, the main reason I put it on this list is how it can make boring ingredients taste good. So let's talk about that versatility for a minute. You can blend canned tomatoes into a smooth, like puree to make pasta sauce in like minutes. Add some garlic powder, dried herbs, maybe a pinch of sugar to balance the acidity. But you can also cook those same tomatoes down further, like longer on a lower heat for 30, 45 minutes. And then it becomes thick and concentrated and it's more like a paste. And now you've got something that you can use for pizza sauce that's has a deep, rich flavor, and the only thing you had to do was just cook it longer. So we have 3 stages and 3 uses from the same can of tomatoes. It's such a workhorse in the pantry. Of course, canned tomatoes work as a soup base. I don't have to tell you that. Just add some broth or water, throw in whatever vegetables and protein you have, and you have like a really quick and easy minestrone or vegetable soup. They're also really great for rice dishes. Combine some tomatoes with rice and spices, maybe onion powder, and you have Spanish rice. If you really like curry, get some tomatoes, some coconut milk if you have it, curry powder, whatever protein you have, and you have a quick curry. Canned tomatoes just have so many uses. Now, while we're on the topic of food storage, we do have a free 1 year food storage plan where we break down a year's worth of shelf stable food into week by week purchases that won't break the bank. If you want to grab that, comment food storage below and I will send you the link. Okay, so number 2 is canned tuna or salmon. This choice is all about getting nutrients that are genuinely hard to come by in shelf stable foods typically. You might be able to raise chickens for eggs and meat, you might be able to hunt, but getting a good, healthy dose of omega-3 fatty acids, that's where canned fish becomes irreplaceable. Let's talk about why omega-3s matter. Your body can't make them, so you have to get them from food or supplementation. Omega-3s are crucial for brain function and reducing inflammation. And most shelf stable foods just don't contain this nutrient at all. Now, some things like nuts and seeds have a little bit, especially like chia seeds come to mind, but it's not the same type that your body needs the most. Fish really is going to be your best bet, and canned fish gives you that nutrition in a form that stores well for years. Now, I know some people think canned fish is just kind of basic for tuna salad, but you can make all sorts of things besides tuna salad. You can do sandwiches, tuna melts, add it to scrambled eggs for extra protein, tuna patties, uh, tuna on toast with a little bit of gravy. And then there's canned salmon. It's kind of a step up in terms of flavor and nutrition. It works wonderfully in fried rice. Just add it in the last minute of cooking so it doesn't fall apart too much. Salmon pairs wonderfully with eggs as well. You can make salmon patties by mixing the canned salmon with some breadcrumbs or oats, an egg if you have one, and some seasonings, then pan frying them. Really quick and healthy meal. Fresh fish is great when you can get it, but canned fish has its own strengths. It's shelf stable, of course, affordable, portion controlled, and most importantly, consistently available. Okay, now number 3 on my list is canned corn. And this is where people either get it or they don't. Some folks see corn as just a side dish, but I see it as filling, affordable calories that can be transformed in so many ways. But let's start with the basics. Corn provides carbohydrates for energy, and unlike some vegetables, it's actually substantial enough to fill you up. And a can of corn mixed with some protein eggs, tuna, chicken, whatever you have, it becomes a complete meal. The nice kind of side benefit of it is it's kind of naturally sweet without containing a bunch of sugar, which is particularly valuable when you're working with limited ingredients and everything starts tasting kind of bland. But canned corn really shines in its transformability. Is that a word? Transformability? I think so. You can drain canned corn and dehydrate it. Once it's completely dried, you can grind it in a coffee grinder or a food processor to make cornmeal. And now you have the ability to make cornbread, which adds some serious variety to your meals. Canned corn also works as a soup ingredient, obviously, but it's particularly good for adding bulk and sweetness to vegetable soups. I mean, corn chowder is basically just corn and either a dairy or non-dairy milk, seasonings, and whatever vegetables you like, and then blend it all together. And let's not forget, of course, the simplest uses: corn mixed into rice dishes, added to salads for crunch, or even served straight from the can as a quick side dish. Okay, number 4 is the only category that I'll put in this list, and that's canned soups. This isn't about choosing convenience over nutrition or being lazy about cooking. It's about having a complete meal on your shelf that requires zero mental energy when life is already overwhelming. You may be sick, exhausted, dealing with stress, or facing emergency situations where the act of planning and preparing a meal just feels like too much. Maybe you're recovering from surgery or an injury. Maybe you're dealing with a family crisis. Maybe you're just having one of those days where everything feels hard. In those moments, you need food that removes all decision making from the equation. And canned soup is grab and go nutrition. Heat it if you can, eat it cold if you have to. No chopping, no combining ingredients, no thinking about what goes with what. You're able to just fuel your body when you need it most. And this is particularly important if you're building a food storage for emergency situations, but it's equally valued just for just everyday life. Now, not all canned soups are created equal. You want your hearty varieties that have some substance to them, particularly ones that have some protein, chicken, beef, or beans, plus vegetables. I would recommend avoiding thin, brothy ones that are mostly just water and salt anyway. Go for the chunky soups, the stews, and chilies work also really well because they're more like a complete meal. Another way to think about canned soups is that they can serve as cooking bases for other meals. For instance, a can of tomato soup can become pasta sauce with some added herbs. Chicken soup can be stretched with rice and noodles to feed more people. Vegetable soups can be used as a cooking liquid for grains in like quinoa or rice to add flavor and nutrition. And let's just be honest about meal fatigue. When you're eating from food storage for an extended period of time, or you're dealing with limited ingredients, things kind of start tasting all the same or just blah. But having a few different soup flavors on hand means you can switch up the taste without really any extra effort. Okay, finally, number 5 is canned peaches. I could tell you to just stock canned fruit in general, and that's probably the general recommendation, but I did want to be very specific in this video. And so I chose peaches because they offer something unique and it makes them kind of worth prioritizing in my mind, and that's the vitamin C content. A lot of shelf stable foods don't contain much vitamin C, and it's a nutrient your body can't store, so you need it regularly. And canned peaches provide a decent amount of vitamin C and in a form that stores well. This particularly is important if you're relying on store foods for an extended period of time or if fresh produce isn't readily available. But the real benefit of canned peaches happens when you start thinking beyond eating them just straight from the can, although that's great too. They are incredibly versatile for baking and cooking, which matters when you're trying to add variety to the routine. You can blend canned peaches to have like a natural fruit spread, and this works great on toast and biscuits, of course, but you can use it to flavor your oatmeal, to use it as a filling for thumbprint cookies, or layer in really simple, basic cakes. The natural sugars in that fruit mean you need less added sugar in your recipes, and the flavor is like a bright and appealing, and it can really lift your spirits when you're having to eat really simple foods. If you're working with just flour, sugar, salt, and yeast, which is, the bare minimum baking supplies that someone might have in an extended food storage situation, something like canned peaches can turn plain muffins into peach muffins and quick breads into peach bread or simple plain oatmeal cookies into peach flavored ones. But even the syrup that peaches are packed in, that's useful too. It can serve as a simple syrup for beverages to just have something a little bit different. You can be used as a sweetener for plain yogurt if you have it. I know that's not typically a food storage thing, but remember we've talked to y'all about how to make yogurt from powdered milk, so yogurt can absolutely still be a food storage item. You can use the syrup for a moistening agent for like dry cakes and muffins. It's just really excellent. And from just a psychological standpoint, having something sweet and fruity available matters more than it seems. Having access to natural sweetness and those just kind of bright and different flavors can genuinely improve your mood and make whatever experience that you're in a little bit more bearable. Okay, I wanted to close out this video by showing like what not to store. I have 3 things in mind that I wouldn't necessarily waste canned goods space on. Canned goods already kind of take up a lot of space, but um, there's 3 things in particular that I generally don't store canned. And number 1 is canned beans. I highly recommend storing dried beans instead. If you're friends with the channel, you know that I do can beans from dried to have them ready in, really quick meals, but I make them from dried beans, not buying them from the store. Dried beans just last incredibly long and they cost a fraction of the price of canned beans. And while, yes, they do take time to cook, it's not a difficult process. You just, in general, soak them overnight and then the next day get some fresh water, then boil for an hour, and you're generally good to go. You'll get way more beans for your money, and they typically store better long term. So number 2 is going to be canned broth. This is so easy to make yourself. Again, this is something I do make and can and have on my shelf, but I make it from scraps. I wouldn't necessarily go to the store and buy broth because it's just so easy to make yourself. You can save whatever vegetable scraps you can get your hands on, any kind of bones left over from any kind of meats that you might eat. You can make bone broth from that. You're just topping it with water and seasonings, and you're essentially paying premium prices for what's basically flavored water at the store, and you can make it yourself at home for pennies on the dollar. Okay, the third and final item is more of a category, and that's root vegetables. Things like potatoes, carrots, and sweet potatoes. These vegetables store really well on their own for even months at a time. Onions is another one when they're kept and stored properly. So there you have it, 5 canned foods that give you peace of mind without breaking the bank or taking up too much space. Each one serves multiple purposes and can transform basic ingredients into real meals. Remember, smart food storage isn't about having the most cans, it's about having the right cans that can work harder for you. That's all I have for you today. Don't forget to comment food storage if you would like our 1-year food storage plan. We'll send you the link where you can download it for free. I hope that was helpful to y'all, and we will see you next time. Bye!